This is a story old and cherished, about a woman and a gentleman. To them is put a simple question. How can they overcome their flaws, that true love may flourish? What will it take to tame their pride, prejudice, and dinosaurs?
A single man, a single man, a single man, a single man.
A single man possessing a good fortune is said to be in want of his own wife. And even if he says he doesn't want it, he's gonna hear about it all his life.
Five unmarried daughters, what am I do? With scaly dragons roaming round the land. Reason hope that they won't handle maidens. Never fear, the state is now in hand. It's a long, long life living in an empty house with only mice running around and servants rolling through your rooms. God made us man and white so that we won't sit out or live in what's the best year to be left sweeping with a broom.
It's really sad and dumb that you're still single. It's really time for you to tie the knot. What will you do with all that wealth you dingle, when every lady's heart's already bought?
My eldest Jane would be just right for Bingley, for she has looks and he prosperity. She's gotta find a money man before too long, for as it is, she's pushing 23. It's a long, long life living in an empty house with only mice running around and servants rolling through your rooms. God made us man and white so that we won't sit and pout or live in what's the best year to be left sleeping with a broom.
Believe me now, my good friend Darcy, Hertfordshire's the place for you.
I have no need for distraction, but where you go, I'll go too.
My dear gentleman, why are you not dancing? It must be a most engaging conversation which could keep you from the company of such desirable partners.
I was just telling our friend, it is the opinion of the Royal Society that the beasts which are now ravaging our land are the very same monsters whose bones were described by Herodotus and Xenophanes, whose remains were so recently unearthed at the quarries at Oxfordshire. Dinosauria has taken the nomenclature, for it means terrible lizard.
But I thought that these dinos perished a very long time ago indeed, why even before the Norman conquest. So why are they suddenly causing all manner of confusion to civilized life?
It admits no natural explanation.
You don't seriously believe that a sorcerer is responsible for this?
I believe the theory holds a great deal of merit. Even our naturalists agree their appearance can only signify uncommon mischief.
A very fortunate mischief it was.
My dear Miss Eliza, why are you not dancing?
Sir, I have not the least intention of dancing. It was a conversation that drew me. I hate to hear such magnificent creatures spoken of with such cruel indifference.
Magnificent they may be, but so was the dragon before St. George slew it.
Miss Elizabeth, I've heard since coming to the neighborhood you've taken some interest in these creatures. Is that true?
It is. I have found that they are kind and gentle and misunderstood.
It is said that these beasts were in former times carnivorous and fearsome, with teeth designed to tear men limb from limb.
That is a confident assertion from men who formerly would have declared their appearance to be impossible.
It ought to be so. Who can know what arts and allurements drew them to this place?
Gentlemen and madam, Mr. Darcy is approaching.
Mr. Darcy!
Mr. Darcy, the slayer of lizards.
The butcher of reptiles.
The assassin of serpents.
Excuse me, gentlemen, madam. I could not help but overhear talk of dinosaurs in a disturbingly congenial tone of voice.
Little else is spoken of in England, Mr. Darcy.
Little else is spoken of and little is done, even though these creatures are a menace to civilized men. It seems that I alone am leading the charge against them.
Why? What have they ever done to deserve it?
Well, they have eaten my cows.
And trampled my crops.
Not to mention, they have driven travelers far from the roads. Can scarce find a proper wine anywhere.
Besides that, many terrible crimes that are not proper to discuss in front of a lady.
A beast can be forgiven if it acts like a beast.
I cannot forgive the injuries that these creatures have caused. I am not weakened by blind sentimentality.
Have you not allowed yourself to be blinded by prejudice?
My temper would perhaps be called resentful, but I remember well enough how they arrived. They came out of nowhere.
their shadows shifting in the trees. They cause so much terror, their bellows carried by the breeze. They're frightful and wicked, even still. They have a crooked ancient will. Their appetites twisted, they will strive to swallow every man alive.
A counter perspective from my own research. These beasts' reputations are sorely besmirched. They're only as willing to kill and to maim as hunters like you against them do the same. A dog that is beaten may threaten and bite. A fox that is hungry may come in the night. But no one for this reason slaughters them whole. They need kind of cures to stay under control.
Pardon my interruption, but what is that dreadful noise?
No one make a sound. Here are your harmless pets, madam. Provoked, no doubt, by the sight of Sir Lucas' cravat.
What's wrong with my cravat?
Never mind that now, we must act quickly.
Oh, I must go find my sisters.
Would one of you escort Miss Elizabeth back to her party?
Don't you want to escort the pretty young woman yourself?
She is tolerable enough, but not handsome enough to tempt me. I am in no humor to protect a single young lady when my steel is required to defend this entire gathering.
What did that disagreeable man just say?
Pay him no mind, Miss Eliza. I'm sure he meant it as a compliment.
Me? Just tolerable?
Come on, men to arms. It's time to show them who's in charge. These vicious brutes won't taunt us anymore. Oh, fighting hand in hand, we'll drive them from our goodly land until there's nowhere left for them to run. Oh.
Bingley, I must confess, I hardly see a point dallying here much longer. The Dinos have fled this area since we repelled them, and there is business for both of us back home.
Oh, but it's impossible for me to leave now, Darcy. Oh, Jane Bennet is so rapturously wonderful. I do declare she has shaken me to my core.
You are caught in the thralls of infatuation. She means no more to you than any of the other young women you have doted on before.
You're a fool, man. She is special like none other. If only those beasts hadn't come and ended our perfect night.
Bingley, come to your senses. The Bennet girls are not special. I admit they're soft on the eyes, especially Elizabeth, or whatever her name was. But this Jane is just... well, she's after your wealth, like the rest of them.
No. I love her with all of my heart, and I know she felt the same. I can't bear for us to be apart. I can't bear to lose this flame. What you say just can't be true. It isn't time to go away. I'm here in Netherfield. To stay.
Bingley, hear reason. Your fortune's too good for a fortune hunter. Your love is worth more than a hussy like that. She's cold while your passion burns warm at her feet. Let's hasten and make a strategic retreat, and go where adventure awaits us, and no women or dances are found, where no beautiful brown eyes will bait us, or turn our whole world upside down.
Our world? Whatever do you mean, Darcy?
I meant to say, there is a foe, there is a fight, there is a sorcerer abroad. We can't be slow, we don't have time, for girls who only want your gold. You may be rich and all alone, but there is time to think of that. When we have won, when we are home, when our enemies are flat.
I know what I hear in my heart. She's a fair and gentle dame. Too well she plays the part, for it all to be a game. What you say just isn't true, or I think so anyway. You won't get me to go today.
Your fortune's too good for a fortune hunter. Your love is worth more than a hussy like that. She's cold, but your passion burns warm at her feet. Let's hasten and make a strategic retreat, and go where adventure awaits us, and no women or dances are found, where no beautiful brown eyes will bait us, or turn our whole world upside down.
Darcy, do you really believe all that?
Face it, Bingley. Women like that are all the same. Her love ain't the true thing. She just wants a big ring. She's waiting to take what you own. She'll give you those glances that make you take chances. Away with your crown and your throne. It ain't worth the heartache to stay here for her sake until she achieves her designs. We got what we wanted, we feasted and hunted. It's time that we put this behind.
I love her with all of my heart, and I thought she felt the same. Now doubts are filling my mind, and I wonder who's to blame. What you say just might be true, but it's time to go away. We'll come back to Netherfield someday, someday, someday.
Wickham, I've got such news for you. Mrs. Darcy has separated Mr. Bingley and my sister, and she'll end up an old maid.
Did he indeed? Mr. Darcy. There was never a more meddlesome fiend. Mr. Darcy at all times annoys me. He has really become a great pain. He has snubbed me and shunned me and scorned me. My ambitions forever he strains. He refuses to share from his bounty. He is truly the proudest at heart. And his sister he made to refuse me. He has made his repugnance an art.
Ah, what a good laugh it would be if you could avenge yourself.
Yes, indeed. Except, dear Lydia, it's not revenge if it's justice. To make things square with a foe. For since the time of Augustus, the war has always been slow. Things often go a bit faster when men with an honorable cause grease the wheels of disaster and make for themselves their own laws. Now I will admit I'm a cheater, a liar and gambler and fraud, but I'm also a stalwart believer. It's only a crime if you're caught. Wait! I know exactly what to do. Lydia!
Yes, my Wickham?
This is a message for your sister Elizabeth. Would you be so good as to write it down?
But we have no ink or paper, and I can't read my own handwriting.
Bah! Commit it to memory then. Good lady, I write to inform you. Think not that I seek for revenge. It is my regrettable duty to warn you about a false friend. Mr. Darcy is not what he seems. He's committed a terrible crime. He is really a sorcerous fiend who has brought these lizards back from time. Yes, it's perfect.
I didn't know Mr. Darcy was a sorcerer.
No, stupid. I'm the sorcerer. We are lying to your sister.
Oh, how great. What a good joke that is.
Yes, a very good joke. But believe me, Lydia, the greatest joke is yet to come. No more scheming Wickham, no, who grovels to the bourgeoisie. I'll buy myself a nice chateau and run this whole society. Just one more spell and I have won. The dinosaurs will run to me. And once they're under my control, that man is gonna bend his knee. Because you see, it's not revenge if it's justice. To make things square with a foe. For since the time of Augustus, the law has always been slow. Things often go a bit faster when men with an honorable cause grease the wheels of disaster and make for themselves their own laws. You know I admit I'm a cheater, a liar and gambler and fraud, but I'm also a stalwart believer. It's only a crime if you're caught. And Lydia.
Yes, my lord?
I don't intend to be caught. Water, please. Forgive
me for intruding on this private moment, Miss Bennet, but I am the translator for Mr. Collins.
Is that his name? How delightful.
Indeed. Mr. Collins is an ordained minister, and he has called on you today with a most important purpose.
Very well. I will listen.
He says, first of all, that it is very right for clergy to marry, so they may set an example for their flock.
What?
Furthermore, he is convinced that this course will add greatly to his happiness.
You're making all this up.
He adds that he is to inherit this estate upon his father's death, and that his affections for you are most violent. In short, madam, he seeks your hand in marriage.
Well, excuse me, Mr. Collins. Handsome as a lizard as you are, we could not possibly make each other happy. My goodness!
Mr. Collins takes offense to the liberty you have taken of patting his head, and says it was a most indecent thing to do.
Mr. Collins can take his offense outside, and you with him, good sir.
Mr. Collins says that he will not forget the insult you have made to him this day, but he knows it is the manner of young women to refuse a proposal, due to the delicacy of their character, and he will count upon your reciprocation in good time.
Elizabeth, I must have a word.
In vain I have struggled, in vain I've tried to repress the longing that I hold inside. I must express my feelings regardless of your birth, and tell you how ardently I love you.
I would express my pity if I only had some, but I feel no thanks for what you've done. I hold you in aversion and never change my mind. You'll have to go your own way and forget me.
Is this all the reply I am to expect? Could you not even attempt civility?
I might as well ask you why you said you loved me against your will, against your reason, and even against your character. If I wasn't civil, I had good enough reason.
It was not meant ungraciously, I only meant to tell you the whole truth. Well, while speaking free, I grant instruct your ears as most uncouth. Don't think I'm arguing with you, or seeking now to change your mind. I have just been disturbed by careful words of Pemberley. No, madam, what?
Are you mad? What the devil are you talking about?
Such allegations confound me. I took you to be of sound mind, but now that I see you veneer for insensible tales, I feel much less inclined. If I had such power, why need I to shower your person with such lavish praise? I could have bewitched you or hexed you and tricked you to offer your hand with a gaze. It's true enough, I am a fool. I wish that I had kept my cool.
From the moment I met you, I knew you were arrogant and conceited and contemptuous of dinosaurs. I had not known you a month before I knew you were the last man in the world whom I could ever be prevailed on to marry.
You have said enough, madam. Forgive me for taking so much of your time. Please accept my best wishes for your health and happiness.
Ah, Colonel Fitzwilliam, I am desirous of your company. This evening finds me in a morbid state of mind. To tell the truth of it, I have not felt peace since the evening of my ill-fated proposal to Miss Bennet. It is not the refusal which troubles me so, but the reasons which she gave. It's true, my antediluvian friend. She made some unfair and unaccountably strange accusations. But that is not what I mean. I mean what she said about my character, and you, and everything else, really. I have been a selfish man since I was young, Colonel Fitzwilliam. When I was a child, I was given the right principles, and left to follow them with pridefulness and conceit. Perhaps I have been blind to my own errors, It is not an easy thing to countenance.
It's hard for me to contemplate that maybe I am flawed. I know that I'm not perfect, and I know that I'm not God. But for many years I've told myself I am a prize to win. My money, blood, and pride would maybe wash away my sin. But now she's making me think twice about my quality. And now I think I see my fights like someone else can see. I thought I was Achilles, slaying beasts in armor clad. But now I have to wonder, are they really all so bad? There's a dinosaur in me, and a dinosaur in you. If we learn to love them, maybe both our dreams will come true.
Prospect that maybe I was wrong. I'd like to think I'm prudent and my intuition strong. For so many years I've told myself I'm wise to never trust. The way to go through life is filled with doubt and prejudice. But now he's making me think twice about my charity. And now I think I see my mind as old and blinded me. I thought I was Artemis, tending beasts throughout the land. But now I think I realize they sometimes need a firmer hand. There's a dinosaur in me, and a dinosaur in you. If we learn to tame them, maybe both our dreams will come true. There's a dinosaur in me, and a dinosaur in you. If we train them well, then maybe both our dreams will come true.
Lydia, my darling, you look stunning today. Beautiful, I might even say.
I don't look beautiful, Wickham. I look horrible.
Oh, dear. Why, whatever have you been crying about, my sweet tooth?
I can't go anywhere. Not to balls or parties or even the shop. Oh, Wickham, I'm so bored.
Ah, well, why don't you just go out?
No one will even look me in the eye as long as we aren't married, and I begin to think that will never happen.
Oh, whatever makes you say that, my box of crumpets?
It's been 6 weeks, and you still haven't asked me.
Ah, but there are reasons for that, my cinnamon bun. Simple details that must be worked out before an engagement.
Details?
Yes. As it happens, that's exactly what I came to discuss with you. You see, Lydia, the power I have gained from these creatures, the power I need for us to build a life together, is limited. And I know the reason why. I have taken something that does not belong to this time, and now I must give something back. But not just anything will do. It must be something precious. And I have nothing more precious, my dear, than you.
That's sweet.
I don't think you understand. I must ask you to go somewhere
dark and ancient, full of pesky insects and other dreadful things.
And then can we get married?
Assuming I find a way to bring you back, then of course.
That sounds very uncertain, Wickham. What about our future together?
I'm so very glad you asked. You see, my dear, if your heart belongs to me, and supposing mine does too, if I have a future, then so do you. It's hard to believe, but you'll know it's true. You'll be out there watching somewhere beyond the blue. Now I've kept my promise, and before you say I didn't, we have a future, and you're just not in it. I've taught them to sing, you see. Imagine what I'll be able to do when I have my full powers.
But Wickham, I still don't understand.
Perhaps an illustration. Suppose this doll is you, and suppose this doll is me. Well, I'm in the dollhouse and you're in the tree. It may not seem fair, but technically we're still together. We're in the same scene. It's such a hard thing to explain to a simple girl like you. But if you only had my brain, then you'd see it's very true. We'll be together like the sun and moon, shining up so high. They never cross and never touch, but they're always in the sky. Oh, my dear, please don't feel blue. I want only what's best for you. And as long as I am happy, you said you'd be happy too. As long as I am happy, then I'll be happy too. As long as I am happy, then I'll be happy too. It must be what it must be. You can't ask more than that from me. It must be what it must be. You can't ask more than that from me. It must be what it must be. You can't ask more than that from me. It must be what it must be. You can't ask more than that from me.
Softly flows the measures of a wandering time, bringing me to an understanding of affections inside. The revision of my heart has come at last to me, for I can see the man who he has
We're all hot today, Colonel Fitzwilliam. It is the middle of the summer, after all. It's no concern of mine that you're a reptile. You had the forward seat all the way to Lambton. And besides, you owe me for that raw beef from the butcher's shop. There will be fresh air and shade enough now that we are back in Pemberley. There will be peace and quiet, too. They were not expecting us back so soon. I say, who is that young lady milling about the gardens? Why, that is absurd, Fitzwilliam. It couldn't be Elizabeth. She's at Longbourn. Besides, why would she come here? After what happened, it's impossible. Stop the carriage! Stop the carriage!
Why are we stopping? I don't know. That's what he said to do.
Mr. Darcy, where are you going? No time to explain, gentlemen. Bring the horses around. Mr. Darcy! Mr. Darcy! Miss Bennet, forgive me for surprising you. I trust that you find my gardens agreeable.
Why, Mr. Darcy, I didn't know. That is to say, your housekeeper said you were not expected. I would not have come here if I had known you were coming.
I made haste for Pemberley when I heard that the dinosaurs were acting strangely through all the land. Perhaps you have heard the same. Me and my traveling companion were eager to make for the country and find out all we could. But why have you come here? I mean, to what do I owe the pleasure of your company?
We were looking into this unusual migration ourselves, and it led us to your home.
Well, surely you do not still believe.
Of course not. I know now I was so foolish, and I regret that I believed Wickham even for a moment when he said that you had brought them here.
Well, I have brought some here, but not by sorcery or for sorcerous purposes. I have decided to study them and learn their uses, as a wise young woman once counseled me to do. Now that you're here, perhaps I can show them to you.
I would be delighted to make their acquaintance, as I am delighted to make this one's. Hello, little fellow.
Then won't you stay for dinner? I can introduce you to my sister. She will arrive here soon with someone you will remember, Mr. Bingley.
Oh, well, I'd love to, but my sister Jane's coming soon, and perhaps you would not wish...
She may join us, too. After all, she was so close to Bingley in the past. I'm sure they would not mind each other's company.
You do not object to their acquaintance being renewed?
I must own that I regret separating them last autumn. In fact, I recently confessed to Bingley that I was mistaken about your sister, and I fancy that he's eager to see her again.
Well, then I must ask my aunt and uncle about staying. But first, let me meet your new friends. This one seems eager to be reintroduced.
By all means. The stables are this way. Follow me.
How is your family? Are they all still at home?
Most of them are. Jane travels with us, and the youngest Lydia is at Brighton. Though I worry about her being alone in such a town. Why, she wrote just yesterday that she is going to a land beyond our comprehension. What on earth could she mean by that? She has often been seen in the company of Mr. Wickham, and I fear what that could mean.
I have no idea, but I am sorry she has taken up with him. Fitz is right. She could not have chosen worse. I am afraid of the thing that Wickham has become.
Just how bad do you think he is?
Wickham and I were close once, like brothers. My father raised him like a son for a career of service to God, but he took another path. The books he stole away from the library, the company that he kept, all of it could only point to, I dare not say.
Do say?
A fascination with the dark arts.
No!
Yes. I was glad to pay him off after my father died, rather than allow him to become a clergyman.
You're not wanted here anymore. Take your fortune and go. I will take my consolation prize, but believe me, I'll be back for more.
But my sister almost eloped with him last summer.
and I have worried since that he had more sinister designs than claiming her fortune.
Oh dear, what shall we do for Lydia?
Would she be so foolish as to run off with him?
I am afraid that she is quite foolish enough. You know him too well to doubt the rest if that should happen. She has no money, no connections, nothing that could... Oh, she would be lost forever.
Then let us hope your sister finds her wits enough to reject his advances. How great would be the mistake to do otherwise. Ah, we are nearly to the stables.
Don't run so fast, dear. You'll trip and fall.
Something has got Fitzwilliam excited again.
He is a marvelous creature. You are lucky to be his friend.
I won't deny that I value his companionship, but you have yet to see him hungry or otherwise discontent. Anyways, here we are.
Well, Mr. Darcy, I admit these stables are well built and admirably maintained, but I did expect there to be something in them. Wah wah! Wah 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 wah!
Fitz is right. Something is wrong here. Where is the stable master? Tompkins? Tompkins!
Well now, Master Darcy, I'm right here. Why all this commotion?
Why are the stables open, Tompkins? Where have the dinosaurs gone to?
Begging your pardon, Master Darcy, but when you came last night, you asked us to set them free.
I asked for no such thing. I only arrived back this very day. Miss Bennet will testify to it.
Well now, Master Darcy, it must have been you. You called on the butler of Mr. Pudding.
Heaven help us all.
What is it? What's the matter?
Mr. Pudding is a boyish jest I invented with the close companion of my youth. Apart from me, he is the only man in all of England who could have used it.
Not Mr. Wickham.
The very same.
Well now, Master Darcy, that could be so. His face was hard to see, and his dress was funny too. He looked almost like a wizard in that cloak.
Why, it was Wickham all along. It must have been. Oh, Mr. Darcy, what can he be up to? What if he means to do something dreadful with poor Lydia?
I would not put it past him. He will stop at nothing to advance his position in this world. If he is plotting something, you may be sure he has a place for her in his schemes.
We must do something. We must stop him.
Yes, we must. The only question is, where can we find him?
Wah wah. Wah wah wah. Wah.
There's fire in the sky.
The end is here, Master Darcy. The end is here. God be raining down fire just like the days of Noah. I warned ye against gaslighting. I warned ye to have only candles.
That is no godly fire, Tompkins, and Noah had a flood.
It's coming from the same direction as the dinosaurs have been going these past 3 days. Do you think...
It cannot be a coincidence. Whoever summoned them into this world has also brought this catastrophe to pass. If we go there at once, we will soon come to the truth. And if I'm not very much mistaken, we will find your sister.
We can go on Phillips and Mariah.
Who are they?
My friends. Dinosaurs, I mean. I've learned to ride them.
Have they no horses in Hertfordshire?
The dinosaurs are faster and steadier than any horses. Trust me, Mr. Darcy.
Very well, Elizabeth. Lead the way.
Lydia, my darling, all is prepared. The incantations are ready to be said, and my servants are gathered from throughout the land. Are you very much ready for your journey to the past?
I've been ready for the past 2 weeks. But Wickham, do you even know what you're doing? You never said anything to me about the fire spewing from the earth.
A trifling oversight on my part. The mountain upon which we stand is of old an opening to the fiery deeps. It lies upon lines of magic that cross the country, which I have awoken by... Never mind. If I don't understand it, then you don't have a chance. But believe me when I say that all has proceeded according to the plan.
Well, you don't seem very sad about it.
On the contrary, my bowl of chocolate pudding, I am simply beyond consolation. Would that I could go in your stead. But then, of course, I could not rule for the both of us. Your departure is a sacrifice that I do not make lightly.
Well, you cannot send me back without at least saying goodbye.
Very well, my dear. To quoth the bard. Good night, parting such sweet sorrow, that I shall say good night till it be morrow.
When thou art gone, how can I carry on? I'll keep thee in my heart until the dawn.
Very well, my Wickham. Begin your magic. Until we meet again, my love.
Where is my spell book? Ah, there it is. Denny, would you be so kind?
Wow, 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 wow.
Rumina hoodoo, Rusima zoodoo, Lumina goodoo, Rusera voodoo, Rumina hoodoo, Rusima zoodoo, Lumina goodoo, Rusera voodoo. Something isn't where it should belong. Open up so we can right this wrong. Toss the rope in, the portal's open. She's about to hop inside. If you're feeling broken, then let's keep hoping that she will not be fried. The portal would not be satisfied. Lumina hoodoo, Rusima zoodoo, Lumina goodoo, Rusera voodoo, Lumina hoodoo, Rusima zoodoo, Lumina goodoo, Rusera voodoo. Something isn't where it should belong. Go inside so we can right this wrong. At long last, the power that I've grasped for will finally be mine. So many wasted years behind me, so many better ones ahead. Behold my scaly minions, and rejoice in the day that you became the army of George Wickham, Mr. Darcy.
And Elizabeth, and Phillips, and Mariah.
Don't forget Mr. Collins. And Mr. Collins' interpreter.
Are there more? Did you bring your whole quaint hamlet with you? I should have known it was you, old snake. I should have known all along. You really should have done, my frilly-collared friend. Admit it, Mr. Darcy. You were blinded to my treachery by a hidden fondness. Fondness? No. Perhaps I thought there was still some good in that blackened heart of yours. I did not know that you were totally depraved. Why? What have I done but take young Lydia on holiday to the hills? I admit it's a dreary day for vacationing, but one can never tell what the weather may do. You mean to throw her into the mountain? Give her over, Wickham, or you're a murderer as well as a witch. You wound me, Mr. Darcy. No one will die today except for you if you dare to stand against me. She goes of her own free will so that I may ascend. Not if we have anything to say about it. So it comes to blows at last. Very well then, have at me, man to man.
In vain I have struggled, in vain I've tried to stop the plans that you've contrived. You plot and scheme against me and come back every time. What will it take to slake your thirst for evil? Mr. Darcy, you always annoy me. You've really become a great pain. You lecture and scold me and scorn me. Begone now your constant refrain. You're so concerned to be proper. You're a saint in your own eyes. By now you should know that I'm not one. Why are you always surprised? I'm wide open, Mr. Darcy. Come at me, if you dare. I'm tired of cleaning your messes. It's time you just can't be excused. The things that you've done to get back at me trump any crime for which you've been accused. Oh, all this time, vengeance has been on your mind. You sought to pay me back in kind. You'll get me any way that you know. I should have lost you long ago. You pin your lot in life on me when you're the only one to blame. You turned against your destiny and treated life like it's a game. You hadn't sold your soul so very long ago. Bitches for you would abound. You would very soon you'll be begging for mercy from me when I put you in right.
Yield, Mr. Darcy. I have you pinned. Your arms have improved, I will admit. But in the end, you are the same weak fop you always were.
It wasn't a fair fight. You used sorcery just when I had the advantage.
You used sorcery. That is the difference between us, Mr. Darcy. What power you have was given to you. Mine I have taken for myself.
You barely understand your own powers. Not once did your creatures come to assist you this whole time. You have ravished the farmland of England. With your spellcraft, you have darkened its skies.
I will admit to some small errors in calculation. But time and time again, your competence has proven much the worse. You failed to detect my hand against Elizabeth, and I almost got your sister. Face it, Mr. Darcy, everyone loves me best. Why, even your blessed father cared more for me than he ever did for you.
It's not true.
What?
You're the fake Mr. Wickham, and people only like you when they don't know you. Mr. Darcy is 1,000 times the man you are. He is good and kind and noble, and you're a pathetic little worm that can't even cast a spell properly.
I have saved my most potent magic for a nuisance like you. Choose your next words carefully.
Wait, she's right. Some things are still beyond your power. Elizabeth is one of them.
Not for long.
She's no simple girl. She sees right through you, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Nothing, you say? You know, Mr. Darcy, I said that no one would die today except for you. But I have changed my mind. I'll let you watch while I take what is yours once more. Sinistrum incantationem.
Oh! His spell missed!
Now yield to me. I knew you wouldn't be able to resist that taunt. I knew you would be distracted. Your arrogance has cost you the fight. Without your hands, you can throw neither blows nor spells.
Oh, Mr. Darcy.
Everything was always so serious to you. You could never see the fun side of life. It's a stuffy little world you love, full of stuffy rules, balls and gowns, proposals and commitments. Perhaps it all benefits you today, but tomorrow it would be a noose around your neck. Imagine how things would change if I were in charge. You in charge? Why, you would bankrupt the royal treasury on luxury and games of chance. You would summon more than dinosaurs into the world with your incompetent parlor tricks. It's true I'm not much fun. I was reared for responsibility. From a youth I have known why we have the order you so despise. And why is that? To protect us all from men like you.
Bravo, Mr. Darcy! Bravo!
I could not have done it without you, Elizabeth. Let's gather your sister and take this man away. Fools! Now that the portal is open, something that is treasured must go through it, or it will never close at all. You may put me away, but you will have an England full of smoke and ash forever, and who knows what may come crawling from its depths. Is that so? Then the man who opened it must go through it. No one treasures me.
You treasure yourself?
It doesn't work that way, you silly girl.
I couldn't live if Wickham went off without me.
She doesn't mean that. Pay her no mind.
Aha! So there is someone who treasures you.
She doesn't know what she's saying. She's clearly touched by the heat. Be quiet, Wickham. Elizabeth is right. Mr. Collins, Mr. Collins' interpreter.
Yes?
Restrain young Lydia if she tries to run after us.
No! I'll bite him!
Come now, young miss. He isn't worth the trouble.
Lydia, come home. You can find a better man than Wickham in the gutter of the street. He's mine all the same, and that's all I care about. Throw us both in so I can have him forever.
Oh, Mr. Darcy, save me from her. Be quiet. Oh, what is it now?
The mountain is shaking.
Mr. Collins believes that Wickham's killing spell has destabilized the mountain. We are all in grave danger and must leave at once.
Then we can brook no delay. Elizabeth, take Lydia and Mr. Collins. Go back the way we came and I'll deal with Wickham.
Mr. Collins can take her. I will not leave you.
I will assume that you both meant me. Come along, miss.
No, let me go. Get off me.
Settle down now. Botheration.
Now, Mr. Darcy. Surely we can put this all behind us? That's what I mean to do, Wickham. Once and for all. I'm very ready for all of this to be over.
Mr. Darcy, help!
Elizabeth! Don't let go of me. I'm going to fall.
Come, Elizabeth. Put your arm around me. We must ascend the ridge. Elizabeth, are you all right?
I cannot feel my leg. But never mind about that. Is Wickham finally done for?
Wickham fell into a hell of his own making. I regret that any man should suffer such a fate. But in the end, that is how it had to be. Did you mean what you said to him? About me?
Well, I was being strictly factual. When I said that you are noble and kind, those are strictly facts, Mr. Darcy.
My affections for you have not changed. If you still feel the way that you did last April, then tell me so at once. A single word from you will silence me forever.
Even though you're on a fiery mountain far from home, I could not be happier than I am here with you.
Sorry to interrupt.
What is it, Mr. Collins, interpreter?
Well, it seems that in the midst of all the commotion, she went in after Wickham.
Oh no! Poor Lydia!
She does bite hard, your sister. Even harder than Mr. Collins. Come again? Mr. Collins objects to these two living together outside a state of matrimony. He wishes to follow so he can officiate their marriage. What? I'm not going in there with you. Go yourself. Well, that's true. Without a witness, it wouldn't be a valid marriage. Very well, then. Geronimo!
There, Elizabeth. There was nothing that any of us could do. She got what she wanted, in the end. So did Mr. Collins.
And Mr. Collins' interpreter.
Him as well.
So much peril, you and me. I feel I've known you many years. You've stood beside me in uncertainty, in trouble and in tears. Hey, hey. And things are different since I met you. I'd say they've all changed for the best. After everything we've been through, I'm feeling really blessed. Hey, hey. Both in it for the ride. I've been depending on your spirit. I wouldn't have it any other way. I really need for you to hear it, 'cause I'd like for you to stay.
You'd be around for very long, but after
And so Mr. and Mrs. Darcy lived happily ever after. Not the lives they thought they'd lead, but decidedly better ones. For Pemberley Estate was now haven to the great lizards of England, redeemed from sorcery to be every bit as useful as livestock, and much better at singing. It was a long, long life indeed for a woman and a gentleman who overcame their pride, prejudice, and dinosaurs.